I've been curious about the HOVERAir X1 since it was released, and I just never got around to picking one up. So when HOVERAir got in touch and asked if I wanted to try it out, it was a no-brainer. Given how tiny this package is, I knew that HOVERAir was small, but I didn't realise it was going to be this small. This is a tiny box. So this video isn't sponsored by HOVERAir, but like I said, they sent it out to me, and so there are a couple of things that I want to test with it in particular before I form my final opinion about it. And there are of course a few things that it lacks that I hope to see in the next generation, and I'll share what those are later. Here it is. So you got a battery charging hub, the HOVERAir X1 itself, and then, oh, this is the battery. And that's just a bit of packaging. First, I want to see how well it tracks me. I want to see how much damage it takes when it crashes into objects, as there's no obstacle avoidance. And I also want to see what the quality of the footage is like. And I guess another question is, would I actually use this, or is it just a gimmick that will sit on my shelf when the novelty finally wears off?
Collision detected. Please pay attention to the surrounding environment and avoid obstacles.
So when you crash, it says collision detected. Please pay attention to surrounding obstacles or something like that. But it's absolutely fine. I think that's like the third crash that I've had now, but it's actually fine. So manuals and whatnot in here. Yeah, just your manuals there, instructions there. And then the drone itself. This is really light. This is basically the same size as my phone. I mean, if you look at it like this, it's shorter than my phone. So I've got the iPhone 15 Pro Max. It's shorter than my phone. Width-wise, obviously it's a bit wider, but this could definitely fit in a pocket quite easily, no doubt. So that's literally it. You just fold it up, fold it back together. It feels really light, and it almost feels like a toy, but I guess that's one of its advantages of being so portable. It's going to need charging. Now, for the most part of what I've seen online, a lot of people are using the HOVERAir X1 for tracking themselves on hikes, bike rides, that kind of stuff. But that's not my use case. I go out, film videos, vlogs, and I love to get behind the scenes whilst I'm filming. So for my use case, it would be a great behind the scenes tool, or a tool for easily getting the odd B-roll clip of myself.
Current mode, hover. Please download HOVERAir X1 app. Connect and activate the device on the app.
Okay, so you heard that? That was the first time I just switched it on. Let me download the app. So whilst that's doing that, this is what else comes in the box. So, oh, that's nice. You've got a little bag for it. And then USB-C cable to charge it up. And then just this little bag. And that, I believe, is everything. Do not fly in the following environments: low light situations, the ground texture is not clear, water surface, large height variance. Got it. Before starting your flight, pick up your hover and follow me. Complete 7 small tasks. Right, pick up your hover and follow me. Estimate time ready to. So I think I'm going to have to do this outside. So let me go outside to do this.
Current mode, hover.
Here we go. This is what I wanted to get to. So place hover in your palm horizontally and align the camera to face your face. Okay, aligned. Please ensure the other hand. Please use the other hand to short press the power button.
The device will hover after completing the flight path. Please hold out your hand and place it 1 foot below the device. And wait for the device to land on your palm. Continue. Hover.
Okay, so it's currently filming. So at the moment it is just spinning round and hovering whilst I move around. After shooting, please place your hand directly under the... Okay, so that was my first flight, my first use of the HOVERAir X1, and since then I've gone out some more to get a better feel for what it's like to use. Now, it's quite loud, but I wouldn't say that it's any louder than the DJI Mini 3 Pro. But once the Mini 3 Pro's up in the air, it's just a faint hum, whereas the HOVERAir X1 is constant because it's so close to you all the time. So I'd be less inclined to use it in areas where there are a lot of people, and also areas where it's a quiet spot and just a peaceful place. I found the app to be quite simple and easy to use, and there are also some tutorials and also some modes that you can unlock based on how many flights you've done. And probably what would be very appealing to a lot of people is the easy takeoff and easy landing, because all you have to do is unfold it, turn it on, select a flying mode, hold out your hand, place the HOVERAir X1 in the palm of your hand, and then just press the start button, and then it'll just do its thing and it'll launch. Then, when you're done, you just hold out your hand underneath it and it will land in the palm of your hand. Also, I forgot to say, once it starts launching, it automatically starts recording. And then when you put your hand out for it to land, it stops recording, so you don't have to start and stop the recordings yourself. But here's my first wish though, because when I was just testing it and I closed it, I wanted to see if it would power itself off. And then the same thing goes for when I opened it, I wanted to see if it would power itself on. It just feels like a natural thing to do. And even if it's not something that was the default, it would be nice if there was an option in the menu so that you could enable it and disable it. So yeah, that's my first wish, that I just wish that it would do that. And it might not be for everyone, but yeah. So this is a good time to talk about its limitations and the other things that I wish it had. But first, let me just say, in case you're unclear, the HOVERAir X1 isn't really a drone for capturing sweeping views and stunning landscapes like you'd use something like the DJI Mini 3 Pro for. It's, as HOVERAir calls it, a self-flying camera. It has a maximum flight height of 15 meters. It has no GPS and no remote control, though you can technically control it with your phone, but you don't need to do so. The HOVERAir X1 also doesn't have any obstacle avoidance, though it's pretty incredible when it crashes into something. It gracefully lowers itself to the ground, and so far it's not sustained any damage. So it's pretty durable, and I think that that's helped by the fact that the propellers are protected and the body is somewhat flexible. Other than the auto power on and the auto power off when you fold or unfold the camera, the wish that I had earlier, there are a couple of other things that I also hope can make it into the next generation of this camera. I'm just going to charge it up, so I'm assuming the battery is in this part. Oh, that is the battery. I thought that lifted up to get the battery out, but that is the battery. So it's just on the top there. When I went out to fly, I was getting about 10 minutes of flight time, so I'm hoping that this could be improved in the next generation as well. Otherwise, for now, you just have to pick up a few spare batteries. So, 2 batteries here.
No battery.
No, it's not taking off because the battery's low.
No battery.
Yeah. So I was really intrigued to get this out and play around with it and see what it was like. And ages ago, when I found out about it, I looked at loads of other videos online. And the one thing that really put me off getting it back then was the video quality. And I know video quality isn't the be all and the end all, especially if you favour convenience and features above quality. Sometimes that is the case for me, but not this time. The video footage is only 2.7K at 30 FPS, or you can shoot in 1080p for 60 FPS, but the footage, even when just at 2.7K, doesn't look high quality, in my opinion. It comes out looking really over-processed and over-sharpened. Having a setting to adjust this would actually be really useful, plus the dynamic range needs some work as well, because a lot of the time you'll find that the sky is really blown out and there are 0 details in the clouds. The other thing is, I like to have my footage on a separate card when I'm filming, because if I run out of space then I can just swap cards and put in a new card. The HOVERAir X1 doesn't have an SD card slot, so you have to rely on the internal memory, which is 32 gigs, which when you shoot in 2.7K is a decent amount, but still it would have been nice to have the option to have an SD card slot on the camera so that you just don't run into the possibility that you could run out of space if you just haven't cleared it off in a long time and you haven't really backed up the footage on here as well. So from what I've seen online, it is a popular drone, and I'm not surprised because it is really easy to use, it's really quick to use, it's lightweight, it's portable. I just don't see myself using it as a main part of my kit as a content creator every day, because for me the quality in this respect just lets it down. But I can completely see why a lot of other people would use it. And to be honest, if I was going out with my kids and I just didn't want to have to hold a camera, or I just didn't have my hands free to hold a camera, I could see this being quite a useful camera in that respect, to just follow them around whilst they're kind of running around like crazy people, and just have it follow them. And I did do that with my daughter, and she had loads of fun just following her and chasing her. So in that respect I can see that it could be useful, but as an everyday content creation tool, not for me, just because of the quality. If the quality of the footage was sorted out and it could shoot in 4K as well, awesome, that'd be great. If I was trying to shoot some behind the scenes and oh, did you see that? It hit the X4 and now it's landing.
Collision detected. Please pay attention to the surrounding environment and avoid obstacles.
But yeah, like I said, there are a lot of people, like if you do any kind of cycling or hiking, then yeah, I can see it being useful for those kind of people, especially if you're not that bothered about the quality of the footage. And also if the footage is going to go on social media sites like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, where people are mainly just going to be watching footage on their phones. So in that respect, I can see it being quite useful for those kind of people. So if that's you and you are intrigued by it and you want to try it out for yourself, then I've dropped a link in the description.